Here we are, we got a 15-inch rim on a trailer tire. It's a 225 75 15. Already let out the air and got a few tools. We'll be going through them. Stay with me. So I've flipped over my tire. I've got it face down with the valve stem down. I'm going to start with giving it a nice coat of soapy water. Something you got to have if you're changing tires manually. Let's go around the rim. There you are. Now we're going to work our way loosening the bead with a tire hammer. Get to be your best friend. I usually stand on the tire. Don't try to take too much at once. Just go a little bit at a time. I always start on the back because it takes me a while to get my aim well. You don't want to... Well, that one came right off. Wow, that was simple for that side. Now we're going to flip it over and do the other. This one hasn't been on here very long, so that's why it came off easily. A lot of times you have to work your way around and around several times, working on the rim to get it to release. Just have to be patient, don't get carried away. Nice, slow, and steady strokes. All right, same thing on this side. Try to put my foot by the valve stem so I don't accidentally give it a whack. Work your hammer right down between the rim and the bead. Slide down in there. Just keep working your way around the tire. This side's going to be a little bit more of a challenge. There she goes. All right. We're going to move on to our tire tools. All right, now we're going to remove the valve stem side of the tire from the rim using some flat irons and some bars. So again, I'm going to give it a squirt around that rim. Just makes everything work so much smoother. I'll even give the tool a squirt before I get started. A little less drag, easier it goes. All right, I'm going to start on the other side from the valve stem. Once again, trying to avoid injuring it. I'm going to work that tire, the tool, right down between the tire and the rim, and pull it up. Now what I usually try to do is put a tire bar or something like that in here. The longer one I like because well, it holds better in place. Just got to get it in there. That's the problem. Sometimes I get her started, and there it went back down. We're going to do it. Start with that one and work our way like that. There we go. Now the bar's in there, got a little leverage. You're going to take a really small bite and work away at coming off the rim with the rest of the tire. You don't want to take too large a bite or too much because it'll be really difficult. Get that in there, just like that. Pull around, and it comes off. I misspelled my name on this tire when I had it installed, but it works well. I just wanted to put all new tires on my trailer. You can see now, you can really let off the pressure on the larger bar I still leave it in there because sometimes they'll kick back. There we go. That part's off. Now we're going to move on to the other part. And the best way I've found to do this is standing up. Once again, I give it all a shot. Try to get the rim a little bit down where it makes contact as well. That's something I do that is a little different. Some people have it other way. I find this works best for me. I don't know if I do this with a brand new tire, but I don't mind doing it with an older tire. Get some pressure on that and just work my way around the rim. Sometimes they pop right off. Other times, not so much. Again, soapy water wouldn't hurt. Oh yeah, much better now. Just my tools. A lot of these videos look like a contest to see how fast they can get them off. Well, they might be a little more professional than me. It's essentially off now. There we go. So we have the tire, the new tire. We have the side we want outside on the tire, face down. We're going to start taking the wheel with the valve side down again, so it's the outside, and placing it on there. Once again, I'm going to give the whole rim of the tire a squirt of soapy water. And start with the valve stem side in first. Then we take our tire bar, flat iron, whatever you have, and just work it around that bead, pulling up. These usually go on a lot easier than they come off, but we shall see. We shall see. Again, can't take too big a bite at once, or it just doesn't seem to work. Sometimes it gets wedged in there. That's why adding a little soap to the tire tool and using a flat tool makes it a little easier. Now it should just pop right on here. There we go. Now, a little trick I want to show you. Not yet. We'll get to that. So, now I'm going to turn it over and put the other side on. Again, soapy water. I think my supervisor's wandering around behind me. He sits and watches me while I work. I really don't understand. All right, so I'm going to start over, get the valve stem side once again down first. I try to walk it on there a little. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. All right. Once again, between the bead of the tire and the rim of the wheel, small bites. want to make sure you keep this bead of the tire on the narrowest part of the rim, the wheel. That way it gives you as much play as possible. You gotta be careful here because you're dealing with a new tire. You surely don't want to mess up the bead of that tire with the tire tool, putting it on the rim. Sometimes getting the tool out as easily as possible. And then this might be the final bite. Now I'll take another couple small ones. That. I'll try on this side. One side feels a little tight, try the other. Keep it pushed down again on the narrowest part of the rim. And there we go. All right. Now it can be quite difficult to get this seated and to get air inflating the tire. But I have a trick for that, which I'll show you next. For our next part, we're going to need to seat the bead on the rim tight enough that we can air up the tire. This can be a tricky part, but I have a couple tools here to help me. What I have is a block of wood here on top of this other one that's more narrow than the center part of that wheel. I'm going to use that to seat the bead on the back side of the wheel first. So again, the water, soapy water, you want to make sure you give it a really good coating here. Some people say, well, why don't you use oil? I think soapy water is cheaper, and I've never really heard of anybody using oil. So that's how I start. So I got that soaked up. Pick it up, flip it over, and drop it on there. Make sure you don't have the valve stem side down because you might mess up your valve stem. And plus you want to seat that back side first. All right, so I just hammer it down there a few times. And I've never had this to fail until maybe, when I'm trying to make a video. So that should seat the backside well enough that we can just get some air going and hold it up on another surface on the front side and air it up. And I'll show you how to do that next. Now that we have the backside of the bead maybe seated enough that we can get some air started in there so it'll grab and inflate, we're going to work on the front side or the valve stem side. You've noticed I've placed another tire, an old tire without the rim, right underneath so that I can push a little on the rim and it'll seat down and push up on the edge of the tire. Again, I want to apply some soap. The liquid will help it also seal the water in just a little better, the air in just a little better. All right, I got my air ready. Put it on there. See how this goes. Didn't seat that time. I have to get more air. Well, unfortunately, my camera shut off while I was getting more air. But I went through the same procedure. I just had a little bit bigger air compressor that could hold with me a little bit longer. it's a little bit noisier too. But I did the same thing, seated it on there. I wanted to tell you because you missed it when it's seated. There's a big pop when the thing pops onto the rim and continues to do so. You want to make sure to avoid getting any fingers or clothing or anything between the bead and the rim, because there's a little gap there, and when it pops on snugly. And you might pinch off some skin or get a glove stuck or even a shoe. So I'm going to continue to air this up, put it on the trailer. I hope this helps if you ever have to do this. So stick with me till next time, and maybe we'll have some more. Have a great day.